loaded, keep it loaded, keep it loaded. Better nice, I'm looking at the camera. Better nice, good, good, good. Preloaders, V.I.Preloaders, welcome back to the channel, guys. Always a pleasure to have you guys here with me, and you notice by now, or at least you should. For those of you that are here for the first time, welcome to you as well. My name's Robert. I'm a retired NYPD Highway Patrol motorcycle lieutenant, and the name of this channel is Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle. And today I want to talk to you about, well, you're looking at it, and the title kind of gave it away, I guess. Motorcycle jacks, right? And I want to talk to you about the motorcycle jacks that I have and what I use on my motorcycles. Now, I've already done, well, before I even get into that, let me talk to you about what I have here. I have a J&S jack, okay, that's a motorcycle jack. I did a video on that. I'll put a link to that in the description section, as well as on the upper right-hand corner of the screen. This is my OTC motorcycle jack. I've had this jack the longest, and I got this jack from Amazon. And last, I have the Let's Roll lift and dolly. And I say lift and dolly because it's two separate parts. This is the lift and this is the dolly. Now, these things have similarities. I'm talking about all three of these, two of these jacks and this lift and dolly. They have similarities and they have differences. And like everything else, they have pros and they have cons. And that's what I want to go over with you guys today. I want to give you the pros and the cons of all three of these products. Okay, let's do it. All right, guys, so first up, I want to talk to you about the OTC jack. And I'm going to cover this jack first because it's the first jack that I owned. As I stated before, I ordered this jack from Amazon. I think I paid about 250 bucks for it. I think it could have been a little bit less. And what are the pros? Well, one of the pros is the price. It's 250 bucks. And I think you can get it cheaper too. Another pro of this jack is the foot pedal. The foot pedal is substantial. And you're going to understand why I'm referring to that when we get to the J&S jack. But it's a substantial foot pedal. The spring is substantial. And it has a safety mechanism, which some people say they don't trust. But I've never had an issue with it. It raises the motorcycle very easily, just with some pumps with that foot pedal. And one of the biggest pros to this jack, in my opinion, especially comparing it to the J&S jack, is how you lower it, and comparing it to the Let's Roll lift. Lowering your motorcycle when it's on this. I don't have to be concentrating on being precise and twisting something, and if you twist it too much, your motorcycle will come down abruptly. No, there's a foot pedal on this as well, so again, you're not having to bend down. That's another pro to this. You don't have to bend down to do anything. You push down the second foot pedal and it will lower your motorcycle nice and easy at one speed. It doesn't matter how much you press the foot pedal down. It doesn't matter how soft it's one mechanism, one speed, ease of mind, right? You don't have to worry about it. So that's the biggest pro for this motorcycle jack. Now let's go over some of the cons. Well, one of the cons is, now this motorcycle jack came with a handle, and you can put the handle on or take it off. And the handle is just used to move the motorcycle around. Well, that has since broken off. As a matter of fact, I know another content creator that said his was starting to break off. He doesn't have an OTC jack, but there are other jacks out there that have this exact design. And the same thing happened. And the reason that's happening is because people are trying to move the motorcycle while it's on this jack while using that. At least that's what I did. And initially, yeah, no problem. When this jack was new, it was easier to move around the garage with the motorcycle on it. But now it's not happening. So that's another con of this jack, moving the motorcycle around while it's on it. Once you jack this motorcycle up, that's it, right? You're not going to really be able to move it. But it does have casters. They have the ability to be locked. It has another option on here where if you screw these things down, they'll go into the floor and that will stabilize the jack so it won't roll. You won't need them though, because this jack is not moving with the motorcycle on it. Like even without the motorcycle on it, you know, of course it's going to roll. The wheels are round, but it's not going to roll as easy as the other products I have in here. I should also mention another pro is it does have tie downs, 2 in the front, 2 in the back if you want to use it for that. And that's always a good thing. But as I've stated, you're not going to be able to move the motorcycle around while it's on it. So if you want to use this jack and jack your motorcycle up, wherever you want it, have the jack there and you'll be good. And that lowering thing, that's just huge, huge, huge. So again, I've had this jack the longest, and I think that's been about maybe going on 3 years. And haven't had any problems with it aside from this piece breaking off to move the motorcycle jack around. So if I have to move it, you saw I move it with my feet. I can kick it around. It still rolls well enough without any weight on it for me to move it with my feet, or, you know, oh my God. Or I can just move it with my hands. Now, stability. So I raised my motorcycle up on this jack to the highest level, and I've never, ever had any concerns with it. So yes, if I'm at the back of the motorcycle, cleaning the rear wheel, of course the motorcycle is moving like this, right? But I'm not doing anything ridiculous where, you know, you have to always use common sense standards. I'm not doing anything ridiculous where I'm going to make the motorcycle actually topple off of the jack. But I do understand why some people are concerned and they get pause if they see the motorcycle just moving a little bit. That's letting me know they're really not comfortable having the motorcycle up that high anyway. And that's why a lot of people that have motorcycle jacks, even if it can lift the motorcycle this high, they're only going to lift the motorcycle up to where the wheels are pretty much just off of the ground. And a lot of the times they'll do that if they want to like clean the wheels so they can just roll the wheel and clean them freely. Me, I don't want to get down lower than I have to. So raising the motorcycle to its highest level is always beneficial for me. And that way I can do what I really need to do. Clean the back wheel, putting air in the tires. We know, and especially the back tire, I don't want to have to take off saddlebags or anything to do that. Having a jack that can raise all the way up, that's a plus, and that's another pro for this jack. All right, on to the next jack. All right, this is my J&S jack. Now this jack, I believe, is about between $500 and $600. Right? Let's go over the pros of this jack. One of the pros of this jack is the ease in which you can roll the motorcycle while it's on the jack. And that's huge because it's beautiful to be able to lift up your motorcycle, and if you need to move it, you can move it with ease. And that's obviously something that this jack has over the OTC jack. This jack also has a wider base, so the motorcycle is definitely more stable on this jack versus the OTC jack, definitely. So if I lift this all the way up and I'm working at the back of the motorcycle, cleaning the rear wheel, you'll barely see any movement versus on the OTC jack, the motorcycle it's moving a lot. So it'll definitely make you feel more comfortable. This jack also has safeties, and they're individual safeties, and it's a pretty thick piece of metal that goes into these slots down here. So some people feel better about that than they do about the one on the OTC jack. So yeah, you're gonna have to bend down and push those things down, and then as you jack it up, it'll go into a different one. Now, the stability of this jack and the ease of moving it around with the motorcycle on it, that's pretty much where the pros, in my opinion, end. Now let's go over the cons of this jack. And for me, this is going to depend on you and what's most important to you. I almost want to say the cons outweigh the pros. And one of the cons is the price of this jack. Right now, it's a well-made jack. It's a very well made jack as far as the construction of it. It's stable, and it's substantial, and you're going to feel comfortable with your motorcycle up on it. With that being said, the jack portion, the bottle jack portion of this jack is not that good. Now remember, if I'm going to rate this jack, I'm rating it based on the price of it too. Between $500 and $600 this jack is. The bottle jack is garbage, right? The spring is minuscule compared to that OTC jack, right? Minuscule. It's a joke. You're working so much harder to get the motorcycle up, and it's because this spring is so flimsy, right? It is what it is. And on top of that, the foot pedal on the OTC jack, and I did a video on this, guys, but the OTC jack has it looks like a foot pedal that goes on a motorcycle's rear brake. That's how substantial it is. This is just, look at this. It's like a piece of rubber on a powder coated pad of thin metal, and that's it. All they did was cut a piece of rubber and put it on there. So it's cheap, right? It's cheaply made. Again, we have to consider the price of this jack. And again, it has the same thing as the OTC jack, and I'm referring to these knobs that you can twist down so that you can stabilize the jack so it doesn't move. And on this jack, yeah, that's substantial. That's something you're going to need because it will roll. Especially if your floor is uneven, or if you're doing anything with the motorcycle while it's up on the jack, it'll roll, right? It does lift up high, so that's good. It's just as high as the OTC jack. It does have tie downs, 2 here and then 1 right here in the middle. All right. Next con, lowering this jack. Now, clearly they've done different styles of this, I guess, because on this particular jack, for me to lower this jack, there's a knob back here. So when my motorcycle's up here, I have to get down on my knee, twist this knob. Now, again, the motorcycle's up here. Most of us don't want to be doing this, lowering the motorcycle. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to fall this way, but it's still not something you should have to do. So I'm going to definitely give that a con. A, because I don't feel comfortable. But even if I did, I don't want to have to bend down and reach under something to lower the motorcycle. And on top of all of that, make sure I don't twist it too fast. Otherwise, it's coming down fast, right? So that's a big con for me, something I definitely don't like about this jack. And one of the biggest cons of this jack is customer service, guys. Now, anytime I do a video on any product, A, I have to like it, whether they provide me the product or not. J&S Jack did provide me with this product. And the customer service is important to me just as much as the product is, because things happen and you want to be able to reach out to the company and get it resolved. So, and this is not just coming from me, guys. I've heard from multiple people that they can't get in touch with this company in regards to this jack. Either they ordered it and they haven't received it yet, and they're not getting any calls back for messages they've left. They're not getting emails returned weeks and weeks and weeks. Or they have the product, something's wrong, and can't get anybody on the phone or via email. That's inexcusable. Like, there's no excuse for that, especially considering the price of this. But I don't care if this thing costs $10. If you're selling a product, somebody should be answering a phone, or at least at the minimum responding to an email in a timely fashion. So as I stated, this jack was provided to me, and when I got it, there was a slip of paper in it that said the following items are out of stock. One of them was a handle so that I can move this jack around, which I don't have. That's why for me to move this around, I have to either bend down or use my foot. And then the other one was because they also sell something, it's like a pan that you can use to change the oil of your motorcycle, which is a pro for this jack too. It makes it easy to change the oil. I never received any of these. This is months and months and months ago, probably going on a year. And any emails that I sent were not answered. Now, I'm a content creator doing a review on a product that was provided to me. If I don't get an email returned, what's the odds that you are going to get one, right? So anyway, I don't have anything else to say about that, but I do want you to put into the comment section if you have the same issue as far as customer service is concerned with this jack. All right, enough about J&S. Let me bring in the Let's Roll, Lift, and Dolly. All right, guys, and lastly, I have the Let's Roll lift and dolly. This product is, if you get the lift and the dolly, which if you get one, you need the other for the most part. I think this product is about $500 as well. And let's go over the pros and the cons. Pros. You see the size of the casters on this dolly? Now it has the ability to lock the wheels as well. And I will tell you, you will need to use those locks because this thing, it's called Let's Roll for a reason. This thing rolls and it rolls easily, right? So let's go over the pros. That's one of them, how easily this thing rolls. Very easy. You put your motorcycle on this and you could just move it around with ease, spin it around. And that's very, very beneficial, especially if you have limited space and you don't have room to just turn your motorcycle around, or you don't want to do an 18-point U-turn in your garage with your motorcycle. Then bam, this product is for you. This product was also provided to me, and I love this product. It's a great product. The other pro is all four wheels on this product turn. So of course, that's gonna give you the ability to turn the motorcycle extremely easy. Now the JNS jack rolls easily, but only the front wheels turn. So you're not gonna be able to turn the whole motorcycle as easily as you can with this. In other words, you're gonna have to do some points, maybe 2 or 3 points, versus not having the jack and doing 18 points. Like I said, of course, that's an exaggeration. But yeah, this product is excellent as it pertains to turning and rolling the motorcycle around. Now this platform right here has 2 different settings for height. I have it set at the highest setting. I did a video for this product as well. I'll link it in the description section, and I'll also put it up here in the upper right hand corner of your screen. And it's very stable, very stable. So I know I talked about the JNS jack being stable. Oh yes, this is very stable. And again, you're not gonna have to worry about the bike moving around a lot. There's no tie downs on here that I see for you to tie the motorcycle down. But of course you can improvise. You can, I guess you could put some stuff around the outer ends of this to tie it down. But listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't see a need to do it. It's extremely stable, extremely stable. It's very well made, made in the USA, as is the JNS jack. Difference is, if you call up somebody at Let's Roll or send them an email, somebody's going to respond to you. All right. And again, that's just huge, huge, huge. Okay. So I want to be clear about something. Yes, I'm talking about the Let's Roll lift and dolly system, and I'm kind of comparing it to my JNS jack and my OTC jack. But I'm not really comparing them because they're not really comparable. And I say that because, and I want to make sure I'm clear about this so that you guys are clear. This is not a replacement for a motorcycle jack if your goal is to lift your motorcycle higher than this, right? Higher than what this is. Because putting your motorcycle on this dolly is going to lift your motorcycle up just high enough so that you can roll it around. So the wheels are coming off the ground, I don't know, maybe about 5 inches. All right. Now, for some people, that's enough because they don't want to pick their motorcycle up high anyway. They have no intentions on doing it. They feel uncomfortable about it, and that's fine. But lifting your motorcycle up that high, just getting the wheels off the ground, you can clean the front wheel, you can clean the back wheel, do whatever you want to do. But if you have a smaller garage and you need to store your motorcycle, I'm not talking about long-term storage. I am talking about that as well. But I'm referring to if you want to put your motorcycle in the garage and you want to put it against the wall and then get your car in the garage or any situation like that. I had a situation like that. Then that's when this is going to come in handy because now you don't have to worry about, again, if you're trying to put your motorcycle against a wall, the back wall in your garage, depending on, and if it's not a big garage, how cumbersome is that going to be to do that every time you want to move your motorcycle and get your car in the garage or whatever else you want to get in the garage. Whereas with this, you put your motorcycle on this thing and then you can just roll your motorcycle where you want it and boom, you don't have to worry about any safeties. You don't have to worry about bottle jacks failing if it's sitting on it too long. That's where the long-term storage option comes from. So yeah, so this is going to depend really on what your needs are. Personally, I think that some of you may just need the Let's Roll dolly because you're not jacking your motorcycle up to do anything really. You're not changing oil or anything like that. And some of you might need a motorcycle jack, and maybe you don't need a Let's Roll Dolly. But I think the majority of motorcycle riders would probably need both. And I say that because, yes, there's going to be times where if you're that person that has limited space and you don't want to keep it on a motorcycle jack stored, this is going to be the product for you. The other reason you might want this rather than a motorcycle jack for that is I used to do this. I used to keep my motorcycle against my back wall in my garage so that I could still get 2 cars in here. This is when I had 1 motorcycle. And I would keep it on the motorcycle jack. But the issue is the jack is still longer and wider than the motorcycle. So even though the motorcycle is up and against the wall, I'm still sacrificing space because the jack still comes out, even with me taking the handle out. And now it's a trip hazard or whatever. This is all going to depend on your garage or your setup or whatever's going on. However, with this Let's Roll Dolly, I can put it right against the wall. No problem. Very minimal of the motorcycle is going to be sticking out, if any. Right? Of course, it depends on your motorcycle. So there's also a kit that you can buy for the Let's Roll Dolly if you have an Indian motorcycle where you can't just put it right on here. And this is 2 pieces, right? Obviously, like I said, see how easy this thing rolls? And if I let it go, look, it'll just keep rolling. Let's roll, baby. So it's significant. Another pro about this is I've taken it out in my driveway and riding over the expansion joints and whatever. No issues at all because the casters are 4 inches thick and they're not made of steel, right? It's nylon, so that's good stuff. And as you can see, guys, I can roll this dolly in every direction. Now, of course, if you first start to roll it and the wheels are facing the wrong way, you just gotta kind of finagle it to get the wheels to be in the proper direction, and then it'll roll just fine. Remember, we still got a lot of weight on these wheels, and even though they roll easily, when it comes to them swiveling 360 degrees or 180 degrees, we got to make sure the wheels are in the right place, all right? But I can roll it forward, backward, to the side, around, and I don't need to mark anything to know where it goes. And this is for somebody that jacks their motorcycle up quite often. I know where to put the jack to get the wheels to lift up evenly. And it doesn't have to be perfectly even when you're picking it up, because you're only picking it up a slight amount of space so that you can get the dolly under it. And then you put the dolly on it and you're good to go. You move on with your life. All right. Now, let's talk about this lift. Okay, so for me, guys, this is a con. And that's how you operate the lift of the Let's Roll Dolly system. So I told you guys, I want everything to be easy for me. I don't want to have to do a lot of stuff. And if it's time for me to lift up my motorcycle, I don't want to have to get tools. So if I have a motorcycle jack, I could just roll the jack under the motorcycle, use my foot, put the safety on if I'm going to use it, and I'm done. However, with the Let's Roll Dolly, you're going to need either a ratchet, what is this, 7/8? Yes. And you have to ratchet this thing to get the motorcycle up, right? Now, again, if this is something that you do every now and then, it's not a huge deal. You can also use a drill. Now, of course, that's going to make things easier, all right? But I will tell you, that ain't happening with a motorcycle on this. It's just not. Now, I think that once I get the motorcycle maybe halfway up or a quarter of the way up, and then I use the drill, I can pick it up. And of course, I can lower the motorcycle with this. And of course, I'm going to use this as soon as I can because I don't want to be using a ratchet to get the motorcycle up. And once again, I'm bending down with the motorcycle lifting up. Of course, the difference is it's not lifting up that high with this. It's not. It's only lifting it up high enough so that you can roll the dolly under the motorcycle and then lower the motorcycle. In other words, lower the lift, and that will lower the motorcycle onto the dolly, and then you can just slide the dolly out. That's simple. Okay, so that's the only con that I can give you. And again, that's a con that it really depends on what's a big deal to you. There's some people that don't mind tooling around with tools and stuff, and not a problem at all. This thing is very well made. Every single part of it is very well made. And I'll just remind you, when it comes to the Let's Roll Dolly, make sure that you don't tighten this portion too tight, right? I'm talking about the nuts that go on top, because if you make it too tight, then the wheel's not going to turn as freely. You don't want it too loose either. Split the difference, all right? All right, guys, so do me a favor. If you own any of these jacks, OTC, JNS, the Let's Roll, Lift, and Dolly system, let me know what you think about them. Put it in your comment section. Let me know what you like about them. Let me know what you don't like about them. And if I had to recommend any of these products, I'm definitely going to recommend the Let's Roll, Lift, and Dolly. It's a phenomenal product. It's very well made. And I'll even recommend the OTC jack because I've had it the longest. The only issue I've had with it is that handle breaking off. And it's affordable for most people. I can't recommend this JNS jack. I just can't because, again, as I stated before, it is inexcusable for a company to not communicate with their customers. And multiple complaints, all talking about the same thing. All right, along with the other cons that I told you about this jack. And if the customer service was good, I can deal with those cons because it is well made as far as being stable and rolling. Again, the bottle jack, not the greatest in the world, and lowering it, not the greatest in the world. So can't recommend JNS. Definitely recommend Let's Roll, and I could recommend the OTC jack because it is affordable and, again, no issues. All right, guys. All right, I hope this video helped you out, guys. I'll put a link in the description section for the Let's Roll Dolly if you want to pick that up. Again, excellent product. And the videos that I did referring to all of these products and doing a comparison. All right, and if you guys have any questions for me, of course, you could put it in the comment section, and I appreciate you all. All right, guys? All right, listen, spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. I want to remind you guys that seat time doesn't equal practice time, and if you have time to ride your motorcycle, you have time to go out there and practice slow speed maneuvers. Until next time.